Hello, welcome along to the very first game of a brand new year. Wycombe take on Middlesbrough in the Sky Bet Championship. This is Chairboys Live Match Day. My name is Dan Simpson. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm really excited about this one today. For many reasons, this is a big championship fixture because of the championship institution. Neil Warnock is coming to Adams Park. It's like probably more excited than I should be about that one fact. Very excited. I mean, it's very disappointing, obviously, that we can't have loads of fans packing out the stands. Imagine that today against Middlesbrough, who have been in the Premier League within the last few seasons. But it's going to be empty. It's going to be quite silent. I'm very excited to hear what Neil Warnock has to say to some referees, I'll be honest. And the last week has really shown the highs and the lows of championship life, isn't it? Quite a disappointing result away at Bristol City, possibly one of our lowest moments of the season, but then straight up, one of the highest. A brilliant, breathtaking, exhilarating result, 2-1 at home to Cardiff. Right, let's run around the houses. Let's say hello to some people. Hello to Trevor. Hello, Trevor. Thank you so much for watching us. Wherever you are in the world, yes, let's have another big performance like Tuesday. Who else have we got watching us? We got a lot of Middlesbrough fans. Thank you very much for joining us. Yes, Susan, exactly. We'll chat to Gaz in just a sec. Susan says, glad to see the same team. Exactly right, Susan. Thank you so much for joining us. Right, let's check in now and have a little bit of team news. You can see it just below you. Let's see what's happening at Adams Park. Let's catch up with our man, Tom Baldwin, who's in the press box right now. Hello, Tom.
Good afternoon, Dan. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm very well. I was delighted to hear you on iFollow commentary the other day. Talk us through that.
Yeah, that was a bit of an experience. Wasn't expecting that one. Heard the news a bit late that there were going to be some issues with the current commentary team that we were expecting. So I gave it a little bit of a go. I stood in and, it was all right in the end. But, the most important thing at the end of the day was the victory. And that was absolutely fantastic. And just hope for more of that today.
I think so. We can see the starting 11 just below us. You had a better eye on it than many people. As we just said, you were on comms on Tuesday. It's the same starting 11. Just talk us through who's going to be on the pitch today.
Yeah, so if I just get the starting 11 up here. So firstly, a happy new year to everyone. I hope they all enjoyed the game last time out. Because the victory in the last game against Cardiff was a fantastic confidence booster going into the new year. Because everyone put in an absolutely fantastic performance. And if I'd have to pick out a few players, like Anis Mehmeti was fantastic. Jacobson against former club was fantastic. McCleary was great. And obviously the two goal scorers with two bullets of headers, Ryan Tafazoli and David Wheeler, they were absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to see what they're going to get up to today. And that assist from Joe Jacobson did mean, the assist against his former club did mean that he's now got 4 in his last 6 games. And that's goals and assists. So he's been very busy recently. So hopefully he can get involved in the game today. And Wycombe have been pretty good at home. Including the game at Cardiff. We've only lost 2 of our last 8, which means that we're probably going to go in today's game, certainly, with a load of confidence under our belts. So we start today with Ryan Alsop in goal. We have Jack Grimmer, Joe Jacobson, Ryan Tafazoli, David Wheeler, Uche Piezu, Josh Knight, Daryl Horgan, Curtis Thompson, Gareth McCleary, and Anis Mehmeti. So it's the same side that came up against Cardiff. There's only one change. Obviously, Alex Patterson comes in for Darius Charles. Alex Patterson is served his suspension now, so he makes his way onto the bench. So it should be a very, very interesting game.
And I mean, I've raved about it already. I'm so excited to see Neil Warnock on the touchline. Talk us through how Middlesbrough are likely to look today.
Yeah, so Middlesbrough are without some long-term absentees, let's say. They've got Johnny Howson, Ashley Fletcher and Grant Hall won't be joining them today. They've been out for quite a while. But they do expect to be coming into this game with absolutely no injury worries at all from their last game where they just lost out to Sheffield Wednesday. You mentioned earlier Neil Warnock, the championship stalwart that is, has met the Chairboys quite a few times. He met them in non-league when he was at Burton Albion and again with Notts County when Martin O'Neill was actually manager here. And he was very complimentary of our side, actually, in his pre-match press conference in the midweek. He mentioned that Wycombe are a strong side, and we didn't give Cardiff a look in. You can't ask for more than what Gareth gets from his players. They have a fantastic team spirit. And he did finish off by mentioning this side, or his side, rather, will be in the trenches this weekend. In terms of key personnel for Wycombe, you'll be looking at Duncan Watmore, former Sunderland, obviously. Everyone will remember him from last season. He's their top goal scorer this season with 5 goals in over... And this is an interesting stat, 5 goals after only shooting 7 times, while Marvin Johnson has got 4 goals and 5 assists and been amongst some of their key players this season with George Saville. And Northern Irish international Paddy McNair joining that group. So, oh yeah, and of course, sorry, Matt wanted me to mention that Wycombe fans will also be familiar with Marcus Brown, who played for Oxford in the League One playoff final.
Nice to think about the League One playoff final again, isn't it? Listen, Tom, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's quite cold out there, so stay warm. Thank you for popping up, mate.
Cheers, Dan.
Cheers, bud. Right, now listen, in just a second, we're going to chat to someone who is sorely missed around Adams Park, all right? But this is a football show. We've not won as much as we would like this season, so it's worth savouring the ones that we have. Let's have a look at what happened Tuesday night as Wycombe took on Cardiff City.
Red card for Neil Harris, Cardiff.
So it's a brand new year, the very first game here at Adams Park. Wycombe, who are 24th, still propping up the league, take on Middlesbrough, who are 9th. Now, we've had a pretty meteoric 12 months. 2020 was pretty successful for the Chairboys. Now, aside from avoiding relegation, I'm keen to know what you want to see in the next 12 months. The last one, as I say, has been very good. We've got new owners in charge, an influx of new brilliant players. We went to Wembley. We won at Wembley. What do you want to see happen in 2021? Obviously, avoid relegation. So let's steer clear of the obvious. Write it down in the comments. I'll pop them up a little later on. While you do that, let's check in with someone who is sorely missed around Adams Park right now, especially in our ears. It's Phil Catchpole. Hello, Phil.
Hey, Dan. Hey, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Where do you join us from today?
I'm in the Three Counties studio, BBC Three Counties studios, where I'll be watching this afternoon's game and summarising for Sam Avery, who's at Adams Park commentating. And I can only think of it, it's a bit like being in Andy Townsend's tactics truck, because I'll have all the replays and all the other bits and pieces here. There'll be a slight delay. So it's something we've never done before. So it could be interesting. But it's great to be part of the match day again. I was at Watford's on Boxing Day. I covered MK Dons the other night. So as nice as it's been to do some other teams, I desperately miss seeing Wycombe and being at Adams Park today and being at the game. But yeah, let's see how this afternoon goes.
Well, just more on that, I guess, from the last game, as you've just seen, performing so well against Cardiff, you've been lucky enough to see the Chairboys up close more than probably anyone else this season. What stood out to you of the way we played against Cardiff that perhaps had been missing in some games beforehand?
I think it's simply having key players back. Ryan Tafazoli, it's strange to call them key players because we've barely seen them. in Wycombe shirts. But they were big signings in terms of their talent, but big signings in terms of their stature. Tafazoli's a man mountain at the back. I think he gives us a lot more in set pieces at both ends. And Uche Ikpeazu, I spoke to him after the game down at Bournemouth, and he was saying that the plan was that he would be taking a lot more minutes off the shoulders of Adebayo Akinfenwa. And we've really run the beast into the ground this season because of Uche's injury. It's great that he's back and he's looking sharp and fit, and he offers something completely different to what Wycombe have got. And I think what a lot of the Championship were expecting Wycombe to do. So having them two back was absolutely massive. Plus, if you take your chances and don't make mistakes, life is a little bit easier.
It's what you just said there is absolutely true, isn't it? I think sometimes this season, the Championship came as a little bit of a surprise that we weren't taking the chances we did have and then seemed to concede with all of the ones that we gave away. How have you found us progress through the season?
I think it's been remarkable, really. I mean, obviously, football is a results business, and if you were a neutral glancing your eye to the bottom of the table every Saturday, you think, well, Wycombe are doing hopelessly. But they really learned, I think, what this division is all about. Bearing in mind the lion's share of our starting 11 and squad have come up with us through the divisions. They've had to kind of get used to the pace. And it's not just, the skill level. I think mentally as well, and the pace of the game really asks a lot. And they've really got to grips with it. And it's been testing with the injuries that we've had. I mean, all players and all teams will get injured, players and stuff. But I think for Wycombe, it's really hurt the spine of the team. So to see them creeping back and also bringing, seeing the likes of Daryl Horgan finding his feet in a Wycombe shirt, I think they dealt with it really, really well. And it'd be nice to have a few more points at this stage of the season, but they're in touch and we're moving in the right direction. And brilliantly, everyone had written us off anyway at the start of the season. Even more people have written Wycombe off now. And that really, really suits Gareth Ainsworth and Wycombe Wanderers. So I'm expecting big things between now and May.
Well, I mean, you say that we could do with more points than we've had. We're on 15 points so far this season. We're 24th in the league. It's still really close around us, though. What do you think might be the key difference from a Wycombe side of things? Like, if we are going to do it, I'm not going to say do the impossible because it's perfectly possible. If we are going to do it, what do you think we need to do? Who needs to keep fit for that to happen?
Well, Uche Ikpeazu has to play a huge part in the second half of this season. I think it'd be great if Josh Knight can stick around. His loan spell ends on Sunday. Local press in Leicester have reported that Wycombe have put a bid in to sign him permanently. If that doesn't happen, then at the very least, hopefully we can extend his loan spell because he's been excellent for Wycombe Wanderers. And alongside him, we need Anthony Stewart and Ryan Tafazoli to stay fit. So we have a really good, and Darius Charles. So we have the full complement of central defenders to be able to choose from. We've really struggled with injuries in key positions. And the player for me of the season is Curtis Thompson. So if he stays fit, then anything is possible because he is literally a joy to watch. I mean, he was discarded by a promotion rival in Notts County. That was a good decision by them. And where are they now? And Curtis has just gone from strength to strength. And he's a sort of player you think, well, if Wycombe, obviously I'm not saying we're going to get promoted to the Premier League, but if someone wants to sign Curtis Thompson and he finds himself in the Premier League, he's the sort of player that you could see making that step up. He's taken every step with consummate ease, and it's a real pleasure and a joy to watch him.
I tell you what, I usually ask guests for predictions on this show, usually a score prediction. I've yet to have anyone predict us going to get promoted to the Premier League when we're propping up the Championship. Now, listen, you mentioned Curtis there. I chatted to the gaffer earlier on, and I mentioned to him his knack of picking up these players that maybe have been discarded by other teams. So Scott Cashgett, Curtis Thompson, Alex Samuel, and now we've got Anis Mehmeti. It's a real amazing skill that the gaffer's had, isn't it? That ability to find these players that maybe aren't wanted anymore. Yeah,
it's brilliant. It's not just Gareth either. It's Richard Dobson because I've spoken to him at length over the seasons. I mean, it sounds ridiculous to say, but it's footballing ability and talent is almost secondary to what they really look for, which is character. Because especially with these players who haven't, say, like for Anis, for example, who's been released by Norwich, that could affect a young man. It could affect a young person who think, right, I might move away from the game. I might lose my desire, my drive a bit. And what Wycombe are really, really good at is finding people who've got the heart of desire and the character to kind of push on and take the opportunities that will absolutely happen for them at Wycombe Wanderers because of the size of the budget in the squad. So it's down to that, I think. I'd like to think we could all see what talent is on the football pitch. Even us fans can see if a player's good or not. Obviously Gaz and Dobbo know what they're looking for, but they really drill down into the psyche of these individuals, and that is massive. And that's also why the culture and the changing room at Wycombe and the atmosphere is so good, and that's worth points across the season. We've seen that. I've seen opponents in the Championship this season whose heads have dropped and they aren't there pulling for each other, whereas Wycombe, it's they die for the shirt, they die for each other, and it's fantastic to watch when that happens. And players who come in like Curtis Thompson, discarded, but I think Gareth Ainsworth channeled him and said, look, you've got to prove people wrong, and not only that, prove it to yourself. And he's done that in and some. Been brilliant.
Another gem that's come into Adams Park this season, Gareth McCleary. I'm not sure if you saw, put a lovely post on Instagram, I think earlier on this week, saying he was close to retiring during the summer, and really, really has set the place alight. Just talk us through what you've made of McCleary. He's
been excellent. There was a long period of time where no pre-season, no first team football. So you kind of think at his age, he's going to take a bit of time to get up to speed. But, I think it shows you what a professional he is, that he really came in and hit the ground running. So much quality going forwards. He's got over 30 caps for Jamaica. And you can really see that quality. But also he's really bought into the ethos of Wycombe Wanderers, is that even as an attacking flair player, you've really got to do your work in this team. And he does that as well. But he's got so much quality. Premier League appearances, the cross for Wheeler's goal the other night was fantastic. He's been excellent. And again, he's the other end of the scale. He's 34 and, it's cold out there today. It's probably snowing. You're probably going to have someone a lot younger chasing him around trying to kick him up in the air. You've really got to want to love this game and have the desire to succeed and push on at that age to keep going. Not everyone wants to do that. And again, Gareth and Dobbo have found that in him, and they're really engaging it as well. And he's going to be great for the younger players like Bayo is and Blooms. It's great to have a senior player like that who can pass on his knowledge and his wisdom, not only on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. And it's good to see him out there. And, it's great to see an unchanged side as well today.
Listen, you're talking to us at the BBC Three Counties studios. Apparently, I've heard there are more football clubs in the Three Counties than just Wycombe Wanderers. There's
Unbelievable, isn't it? Yeah.
There's one in North Buckinghamshire as well, apparently. I've not really, I'll be honest, kept much of an eye out for what teams around us in the Championship have done so far this season. I know that we're close to Derby and Sheffield Wednesday. Talk us through the bottom of the league, how the rest of the Championship is shaping up.
Well, Rotherham are 1 point ahead of Wycombe going into today's game. Their game has just been postponed for snow. So whatever happens today, if Wycombe win, they will move off the bottom of the table, which psychologically will be huge. I think Rotherham will have 2 games in hand. But, that's okay. It's about getting points on the board at this stage. And Gareth Ainsworth has set himself a target. I don't think he's too worried. I'm looking at the table now. It's crazy to think of teams like Nottingham Forest and Derby County being our rivals at the bottom. I think they're going to pull away. Sheffield Wednesday have got rid of another manager. Having seen QPR the other week, they look in real problems to me. Their game has been postponed as well, so we can get 3 points closer to them today. I think
very quickly, Phil. Sorry, you mentioned Sheffield Wednesday getting rid of Tony Pulis. I don't really want this to derail the show, but I don't know why. I don't know. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Do you know? Does anyone know?
Tony Pulis is a man who he speaks his mind. He's got great experience in the game, great achievements. I'd imagine it was a falling out with the owner over a frank exchange of views. We're approaching a transfer window. We're now in a transfer window. So there's a potential topic they might have disagreed on. And if you're not going to toe the line, the Tony Pulis line, I'd imagine he was like, you know what, I don't need this. I think that's maybe what happened. But again, it's all good news for Wycombe Wanderers because upheaval can cause a lot of problems at clubs. Although Sheffield Wednesday did win the game last night without Pulis. So let's see. But again, massive club. Birmingham City, I saw Karanka's in real problems there. Wycombe, it's one of their 3 wins this season, one away from home. They can't seem to buy a win at the moment. I think they can be dragged into it. And that's why it's really important that Wycombe get something today, is to keep in touch, now these players are coming back and we can get a bit of form and momentum. Over the years, Wycombe go on great runs. Gareth Ainsworth, I think he's had a record run of not wins, and he's equalled his own record several times of consecutive wins in his long period in charge of Wycombe Wanderers. They tend to do things in blocks. Hopefully, midweek was the start of another fantastic winning run, and we're sat here in 2 or 3 months' time. Well, hopefully I'm sat at Adams Park in 2 or 3 months' time with Wycombe in mid-table. I mean, I am an optimist, but I would love that to happen.
Now, you're not on the BBC, so luckily you can plug away. What can we expect of the fantastic award-nominated Ringing the Blues podcast this year? Yeah,
I've had a couple of weeks off over Christmas. It's been a busy time, so we'll be back next week, which is obviously a bit more work for me, but I love doing it. It'll be a bit of the same as really. Next episode, I think after this next one, we're going to get some fans on from what I call around the stadium, people from the terrace, from the Frank Adams stand, to kind of get a bit of a weather check where we are in the season, depending on where you sit, the opinions of the fans on the podcast as well. We'll continue to have the opposition view on every week. I think it's the most popular thing that we do. And it's wonderful. I think someone wrote on the gas stream the other day how nice it is that we can get people like Rob Couhig and Gareth Ainsworth and the players on so regularly to speak to what is essentially a non-club media. It's an independent podcast, although I am a journalist, but I'm not going to toe the line. I want to ask the questions that fans will want to be asked. And we're very blessed at Wycombe Wanderers that we have a very open chairman in Rob Couhig who will answer any question and get out of bed at whatever hour it needs to match up when I can get the studio. And Gareth Ainsworth never shirks a question unless it's about players being injured. We're very lucky to have some great speakers with this club. So, most of the audio on the podcast is them, and the match audio is very little of me. So I just stick it together. So, thanks for listening if you do it.
Well, very excited for the new series in the new year. Phil, subscribe wherever you normally get your podcasts, by the way. Phil, thank you so much for joining us, mate. Good luck with the game.
Thank you very much. Fingers crossed it all works.
Cheers, pal. Phil Catchpole there. You can hear him summarising on the iFollow, which starts in about 20 minutes' time. Make sure you go and get your passes now. It's 3 o'clock kickoff. It is Wycombe taking on Middlesbrough. You can see the team news just below. We name an unchanged starting 11. And here's what the gaffer, Gareth Ainsworth, had to say earlier on. First time I saw you today, Gaz, you were in very ebullient mood, screaming out Primal Scream. Are you excited for today?
Real great game, Middlesbrough coming to Adams Park. I remember the talk of the FA Cup tie many years ago, which was one of Wycombe's biggest ever games. Again, it's one of our biggest games. It's Championship. It's trying to get back-to-back wins, which would be very important and crucial at this time. With Sheffield Wednesday winning last night and the league tightening up rather than games off today. So there's chances to improve on our position, which is great. But the biggest news is I've been able to name an unchanged team for the first time in God knows how long, because the fixture congestion has calmed down slightly, which has been great. And the boys on Tuesday performed really well. They deserve another shot at it.
How important is that consistency for you as a boss, picking the same 11, getting a tune out of them week after week?
Really important. I think if you can get some consistency out of the team, then it's great for a manager. The flip side of that is dealing with the other boys who aren't playing then and keeping them ready, because there will be changes without a doubt, coming into the January and February periods. But really pleased to be able to get a bit of momentum today. I thought Uchi was a real pain in the neck for Cardiff, really was, and we had a focal point then, and some of the play around him. There's been a couple of players, just a couple of knocks, but they've got through them. I'm sure the bench will come into play today, but it's going to be about that individual brilliance who can win that game for us today, because I think it's two very similar styles, very similar teams, work ethic wise, and I think it's going to be a game with a lot of chances. It's going to be who's going to stick those in.
How much work on the training ground goes into playing with someone like Uche, who's not Bayo, and maybe changing things up a little bit?
Working with Uche is a project. He's going to be a super player for us. But the way I want to use him is probably different from the way he was at Cambridge or at Hearts, and I think that's us signing players to suit our our system, the way we play, you know, we do like to get the ball forward early, and it's getting him in the right positions to make him the most effective, you know, and then the runners off him. Young Anis is in the form of his life, you know, he's playing superbly well, and McCleary and Horgan either side as well. It's exciting times for Wycombe, but like I say, it could come from anyone in the 18 today. Really pleased. Alex Patterson makes the bench against his former club as well, which he's relishing that, and Josh Hart, our analyst, big Middlesbrough fan, but he definitely wants Wycombe to win today.
Lastly, just about Anis, as fans during the transfer window, we want big names to come through the door, but sometimes under you, we've had those players that we've not really known, Kashket, your Samuels, and now your Mehmetis, who is now lighting it up for us. Just talk us through his move to the first 11. Yeah,
I mean, Anis was signed as a B team player at I remember the first game I watched him at the training ground, and I said to Sam Grace, I like that boy. His energy was something special, the way he dealt with the ball, the passes, his weight of pass, his accuracy. He's really deserved his chance, you know, and I think we can't underestimate what Matt Bloomfield's doing for him at the moment. He's constantly talking to him. Matt even pulled out of training yesterday to put a red bib on to watch Anis and coach Anis in the system, you know, which is great to have, you know, for me as a manager. It allows me to concentrate on the Uchis and the other players, you know. So no, it's a big team effort, but I'm sure that boy's going to play at a very high level. He's superb. We want to keep this club at a high level, and that's all about keeping him here, keeping him playing at this high level. Games like today is really important for that.
Cheers. Now, thank you very much to Gareth, by the way, for stopping to chat to us. It's obviously a very busy day for him. Even though you can't be here at Adams Park, we're trying to bring you the Matchday experience as close to the authentic thing as we can. So we've got a mascot. We always have a mascot every game we try to. It's a virtual mascot. Today, it's Caitlin Slatter.
My name is Caitlin and I support Wycombe. I've supported Wycombe since 2015. And I support them because my mum and dad supported them when they were young.
What was the first Wycombe match you ever went to?
The first Wycombe match I ever went to was against Dagenham and Redbridge when it was 1-1 and Aaron PS scored.
What's the best Wycombe game you've ever seen?
The best Wycombe game I've ever seen is against Doncaster when we were 2-0 down and we came back 3-2.
What's the best goal you've ever seen Wycombe score?
The best goal I've ever seen Wycombe score is Sam Wood against Morecambe where he flicked it up and then scored from the halfway line.
Who are your favourite Wycombe players?
My favourite Wycombe players are Joe Jacobson, Ryan Allsop and Matt Bloomfield.
What do you think the score's going to be today against Middlesbrough?
I think the score today is going to be 1-1.
Who do you think is going to score Wycombe's goal?
I think Joe Jacobson's going to score.
Smart money to hedge your bets on JJ there. Caitlin, thank you so much. And also a brilliant cameo from your lovely dad, Phil. Right, it's almost time to kick off then. 15 minutes to go. Wycombe take on Middlesbrough here at Adams Park. And it's a very, very happy new year from all of us here at the Chairboys.
Hi guys, Matt Bloomfield here. Just wanted to wish all the Wycombe Wanderers fans a happy new year. Let's hope it's full of fun, laughter and health and happiness. Take care.
To all the Wycombe Wanderers fans, looking forward to 2021. 2020 was good on the field. Hopefully we can maintain our status in the Championship and another successful year.
Happy New Year's. I hope everyone has a good year and keeping safe, and hopefully it'll be a better year than last year.
Happy New Year. Hopefully we'll get to see a bit more of you this year.
Just want to wish everyone a happy new year. Hopefully everyone gets what they want in 2021. Last year was a hard year, so just make this one count.
New year guys, have a great one. We'll make sure 2021 is better than 2020. Nice.
Happy New Year Wycombe fans. Hope to have you back in Adams Park very soon.
Oh, lovely to see J-Mac there at the end. Yes, a very happy new year from all of us here at Adams Park. Let's start 2021 with a big 3 points, back-to-back wins again this season, fingers crossed, as we take on Middlesbrough. Just over 10 minutes to kick off. Make sure you go and get your iFollow passes now. If you haven't, it's wwfc.com for that. And fingers crossed for a big 3 points. Thank you very much for watching Chairboys Live.